Don't start yet.
Starting. So how's it going, Ms. Durham?
It's okay, I guess. I am getting ready to start school this coming week, and not ready, and start thinking about all the things that I have to do, and I start to kind of get overwhelmed. At one point, I took off today and went walking so that I didn't have to deal with it. Yeah, it's coming, and I'm not ready. And I mean, it'll come. I always say that, you know, I know that when push comes to shove, I can teach. I don't have to have, I know what I'm doing there, but it's all the stuff beforehand that I sometimes lack in. I know that I have to go get, um, I have to make phone calls to all the kids who are in my homeroom. And I don't know if I was supposed to do that by tomorrow or what, but I know I gotta call all 20 or so kids that are in my homeroom, and haven't done anything to get my Canvas site ready. I did fill out the form to get my door sign made. I had to submit a picture, and I had to submit, what my what my class periods are, what I'm teaching each class period, because they put a sign on each outside of our doors. So I actually got that done. And I had a good professional development meeting last week. It was for first teachers who were in their first or second year at Bryan Station at my school. Because last year, yeah, it was my first year, but because it was a pandemic, we didn't get a lot of that new teacher. Um, Camaraderie is the first word that comes to mind, but it's more than it's, I mean, that's part of it, but it's also information sessions and um, just a lot of things that new teachers need their first year at a school that I just didn't get last year. Now, it's nice because I feel like I feel like now I'm the veteran. I am the veteran among the new teachers. So when they're talking about like using our learning management platform, and they're talking about all these other things, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I know all about that, and I can add in, make sure that you do this, that, and the other to make your life easier.
Okay. So how's it going when it's coming to you dealing with I guess in your case it's the negative thoughts versus the positive thoughts.
Lots of negative thoughts. Lots of negative thoughts. Um, I meant to go into work Friday. I had planned to go in at 8 o'clock and work all day. Could have gotten paid for it. And bring it here and then leave. Lock my door on your way out, please. I woke up late and had no motivation and didn't go in. I finally went in. I don't know, maybe about 4:30. I took in a load of stuff and dropped it off at school. So I mean, I ended up getting something done that day. Um, but I wasted the day, and you know, I hate when I do that. I hate when I do that
And why is that?
because I know it doesn't make me. It makes I'm self-sabotaging because I make my own life harder.
So how are you doing with the chart that you were supposed to create?
Which one?
All right, so we were supposed to be working on a routine.
Yes.
So with the first thing being, when you come in the house, where do you put your keys? So remember we were talking about your keys.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Um, my keys aren't a problem. I mean, I've got my tile on my keys. I was putting my purse in this one little place on my shoe bench, except now my son has these great big boots and they don't fit on the little shelf, and he has to put them in the same exact place that my purse goes. So I got to find another place for my purse.
I thought
Yeah.
you were going to be putting your purse in your room.
Yeah, that didn't happen either.
And that you were supposed to be, so grab a piece of paper, because let's go ahead and create the chart together. Remember, you were supposed to create, so it's supposed to literally be keys, purse, go all to the same spot. Then it was supposed to be, did the kids do their chores? Did the kids get up like they were supposed to? Remember, we're supposed to be checking this off every day, because this is how you're going to hold them accountable.
Hang on. Hang on. I've taken out so much out of my bedroom that I don't know where my notebooks are. I don't even know where a notebook is. Hang on a minute, and I'm going to use my Chromebook, and I'll just start a Google Doc, and that might be the easiest thing. Well, heck, I don't even need my Chromebook. I don't know. Can you still? Okay, can you still, does the Zoom meeting still work? Can you see me or can you hear me when I
I can
do what
hear you.
okay, that works then. Because I'm opening up my Google Drive. And that's my school one, and I don't want my school one. So how do I get out of that? That's how I get out of that. Get into that one. Okay, I am in my own drive now. Now I got to figure out. No, that's not what I want. How do I get a new Google Doc on my phone? Aha. Okay. What am I calling this? Nightly routine?
So this is just routine.
Okay. Purse, keys, upstairs. Okay.
Second would be purse. So keys, purse go to the exact same spot.
Yeah, I put that as the first thing. And the second thing is check, go down the chore list.
Check, go down the chore list.
Okay. Well,
First,
and I, honestly, this is a lot of this is going to be able come Wednesday when the kids go back to school and we have a regular actual schedule, then it'll be easier to do all this. But so what's the third thing supposed to be?
weren't you supposed to have been working on the, well, what have you started to do with their phone and their computer time?
This past week it's been all crazy because they haven't been working, and two of mine have been recovering from the teeth surgery, and one day I had professional development. It's just it's been way out of routine. So this week it's not it's been probably more of a fight this week. I got up this morning and I had everything completely turned off and I refused to turn it on.
Okay.
And so there was some nastiness that ensued because of that.
Well, that is your extinction burst. So when you start putting things on extinction, they're going to get nasty to see if you're going to back off and just let them have it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going right now to make sure that everything is turned off because they should be on bedtime right now. And I don't think they are. There we go. Lock. Lock. And hers is locked. The only one that was unlocked was Evan's. And I did unlock his because he got he ordered him some Bluetooth headphones and he wanted to try to work with those. I won't know, like, come on. Okay. There. All right. So I've got those things.
Okay. And so now I think also what's going to have to go onto your chart is probably shower time.
Yeah, that's in the morning.
So you're gonna also, I think you're gonna have to add the morning routine because you're gonna have to show, because part of this chart is for you, and part of this chart is for them earning their time.
Oh, you mean showers for them, not for me.
Yes, for them.
I was thinking it was for me.
No, for them, because you're gonna have to remember part of the chart is you dealing with your stuff, and then you also have to deal with them because you're saying that they have to earn it. So there needs to be something tangible so that you're not trying to remember everything. Did they do this? Did they do that?
Yes. Who is it? What do you need? No, I'm taping. Wait till I'm done. Go take your shower. Go take your shower. Good night. But yeah, I put that on there. It's on there. It's on the bottom of their chore charts about the showers and stuff. But I put it in there anyway.
So yes, this is where you're gonna have to keep going through the same process over and over again until it becomes second nature. So it's, I mean, basically all the stuff that you need to get done or that you need to account for in your day, you need to put in your end of the night positive what I got accomplished today stuff on there.
Yeah.
So that you know that every day when you look at that chart, every time you look at the chart, oh, I didn't do this. Oh, I didn't do that.
I am typing that in. Okay.
What else do you want to make sure you're getting done in your day?
There's so much.
So what else? This is your chart. This is your daily routine. Because this is what we're trying to build up for. Because the more you put into your routine, you start to really build it in and you go, hey, I've done this. I got to make sure I do this. I got to make sure I do that.
Mm-hmm.
And this becomes your daily roadmap. And yes, you may not hit everything every day. But if there's something conscious and it's not just a, oh, I don't know if I should, but if this is part of your planned day, this now becomes your way of working towards, I need to knock this out. I need to knock that out. I need to knock this out.
Well, I mean, my garage is still a mess. So doing something on my garage is a positive, would be a necessary step.
That may be something that you just put in there for Saturdays and Sundays. Because you
Mhm.
know during the week you're going to be busy trying to do the school stuff.
Yeah. I mean, dinner. I really don't want to be eating out every night.
So then
And
what nights out of the week are you going to cook dinner? And so that becomes your cook dinner night. So which nights are those going to be?
that's a good question because that changes so much. It's so dependent on it's so dependent on what's going on.
Yeah, but you know that on these nights out of the week, these are my nights that I'm going to try to cook. Or you may say that 4 nights out of the week, I'm going to cook.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
So that means if you use up your three non-cook nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that means Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's cook time.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
So then you have to be strategic on how you do your time.
Mondays are spaghetti nights.
I'll be right back. But no, that's what you're gonna have to do. Like I said, this is where you're going to build in Monday nights. If it's spaghetti night, then stamp it. It's spaghetti night or it's hamburger helper night, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can say, like I said, you need to pick 3, so let's say 4 out of your 7, you're going to cook. So you got to figure out which out of your 7, which 4 are you going to cook? Because like I said, if you burn your 3 non-cook days.
Well, and that's, to be honest, that's something I need to get my kids involved with because I'll be realistic. I'm not cooking 4 nights a week. And there's 4 people in this house. I can cook one. Each one of them can cook 1 night a week.
So I mean, even if you know that Lincoln's gonna be taco night, and you know that Aaliyah's gonna be hamburger helper or spaghetti night,
Mm-hmm.
and then you know that Evan's gonna probably be a mac and cheese night.
Now, Evan has his Michelle P. behavior management person or behavior specialist or whatever. She is like when she came in last week, they cooked and we had the ingredients on hand. Aaliyah wanted to try to make crab rangoon. And so we had the ingredients on hand for crab rangoon and Evan made it. he didn't eat it, but he made it.
Right.
So I can see, that night being Evan's cook night. Evan cooks dinner for everybody.
Okay.
And I know that her name is Bree, and she and I talked about it, and like he wrote down all the stuff that we need for these like white chicken enchiladas. And so
Okay.
I think that's what I need to make sure that he's got the ingredients on hand. But that can be his cooking night.
And so that's what you need to do. Her night that she comes over, that needs to go on to it's time. Now it's time to create your chart, and this is what we're gonna follow. So they have to be at school at whatever time they have to be at school. So what time do they need? So I mean, it's the different things because, like I said, you have your chart and you have what you're holding them accountable for.
Yeah. Well, I found out I have to get my boys to the drop-off point at, I think it's like 6:50 or 6:55. And ideally, Aaliyah and ideally the whole family will be ready, and we leave at 6:45 and then go drop or 6:40, and then I drop the boys off to catch their transfer bus, and then Aaliyah and I go on to school. Okay. Ideally, because I really don't want to have to. What I don't want to happen, but I'm afraid is going to happen, is that we're all in a rush, and then I run and I get the boys and I drop the boys off. Then I have to come back and get Aaliyah ready, and then we leave late.
Right.
It's nice. I say it's nice. If the boys do miss the transfer bus, I think there's enough time for me to still get them to school and me get to Bryan Station by 8:00. But I don't want to be doing that every day. I want everybody to be ready to go walk out the door by like 6:30, 6:35.
Okay. So what time does that mean they have to be out of their beds? And
probably 6:00, honestly. Now, Bree was working with Evan on him getting himself up. And the consequence for him for not getting up on time was that he had to pay me double what it meant, or because he had to pay me roughly $1 a day to take him to work. And so, and it was $1 a day. Yeah, I guess it was $1 a day. And if he missed me taking him and I had to come back and get him and take him, make a second trip, he had to pay me double for that day.
Right.
And so that was enough of an incentive for him. I don't know what his incentive is going to be. I guess you don't get the computer, or you don't get but okay. The whole reason I gave him the phones to begin with was for my convenience, so that if I needed to text them and say, hey, don't ride the bus home today, or we were supposed to do this but it's not going to work out, or whatever, I had them. And I don't know, it's created more problems in my book.
Well, then I hate to say it,
Get rid of the phones.
You almost should have got him one of those little kid Disney phones. The ones that you can only program 4 numbers into it.
Yes, I know. I realize that. And I can tell Yes, I know you're probably gonna just shake your head at me, but I've not been taking my medicines. I keep when I get them laid out and they're right there by my bed, it was good. But then I took everything out when I went to my trip and I haven't set everything back up again.
All right. We're adding this in. You're getting a pill box.
I've got one.
All right, put your pills in the pill box for each day.
I do that.
And you still don't take them?
When I forgot to put it back when I did not unpack my suitcase.
Where's your
So
pill
they're
box
still
at now?
flipping in my suitcase.
Go get it out your suitcase right now.
I know. See, and this is where some of the negative self-talk comes in. Why am I so scatterbrained? Scatterbrained is a nice way of what I'm thinking about it on the inside. I know they help me. What the hell's wrong with me that I can't remember to take them
We
or
all
can't
get
make it a
comfortable and think
priority?
we can do it by ourselves. It happens. So now it's time, go get your meds, put them back by your bed.
Oh, crap, I said that's where it was, but I can't even find it now. I'm not even sure what I did with it now because I thought it was in my suitcase and it's not. I don't know if it's on my bed, on the floor.
Well, take a second, pull yourself together and see if you can find them.
Yep, I found it. It wasn't in my suitcase, but it was in the bag of stuff that I took.
Okay.
So I've got it. There's everything I need to take. But I don't have my stuff. I am such a mess. Here. I did it. All right. I did it.
All right, so now this is where we're gonna stop beating ourselves up, because beating ourselves up does not help.
No, it doesn't. And I've got 51 years of that to try to keep unlearning. And I'm better. I'm better, but I'm just kind of I'm filling it back up as we sit here and talk. Because that was the last one I had left over. Or that was the last day I hadn't. It was all empty. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Because I used up the last day. Hell, I don't even know where they all are, to be honest. They are all scattered.
So you don't know where the main bottle is now?
Yeah, it's I had them all out in a basket, and the basket got dumped over. Lincoln comes into my room sometimes and then ends up making a mess of everything on my bed. Or Aaliyah will come in and sleep at night, and I'll have stuff on my bed, and she just pushes it on the floor. You know, it kind of goes back to the whole, my kids don't respect me, and I tell them not to do something, and they do it anyway.
All right, so slow down and stop being negative. Yeah, they're around here on the bed and or on the floor. They're here. They're just, like I said, Lincoln was on my bed, and I told him, I said, I don't know what you do. Do you use my bed as a trampoline? Because he pulls my sheets off. And it's like, how do you manage to do that? I don't even do that. A lot of them have gotten knocked off on the floor at this point. That's the big one. That's the one I just had. That's one of them I need. You know, I've gotten, for so many times I have forgotten to take them. But then I've, gone and picked up the refills anyway. I've got so many bottles. I've probably got 6 months worth of some of these. Well, that needs to go on your chart too, that every morning.
And I've said this before, that I do good when I've got anybody. It doesn't matter. When I've got somebody, anybody, just reminded me, just checking up on me, just sitting there and doing things. I mean, sometimes I would have my friends over and say, you don't even have to do anything. Just sit here. I'll do dishes while you talk to me.
All right, so what we can start trying to do is, even if it's just short sessions at night, we'll start doing some short sessions just to see what you've completed for the day. So it may just be a 15-minute session of, how's your day gone? What have you completed? Let's look at your chart.
Did you take this?
And that's what it'll be. Sometimes it really will be that simple. Have you taken your med? What did you complete today on your chart? Let's see what your chart looks like.
Yeah.
Because that might be, you're saying that that's how simple it is. That's what you need. So there's no need to reinvent the wheel if you know that at least that part is what you need to stay within your flow.
Yeah.
And your meds do make a difference because it keeps you from getting frustrated and it keeps you from getting flustered.
Yeah. Well, and I always, well, like I said, I can tell because of the way I'm feeling right now. And I wouldn't be this way if I had my medicines regularly.
Okay, so right now you're feeling really negative about yourself. So let's talk about the good stuff that you've done. So tell me some of that good stuff you've done this week.
I started the sanding process on my windowsill because everything's in now. My carpet's in, my blinds are in. I mean, I haven't gone and bought my paint because I'm not going to buy my paint until I'm actually like, okay, it's time to paint. But everything's in now. My bedroom is waiting on me. So I did get some of the sanding done. Saw some more places where I'm going to have to go back in and put more putty in. So I'm not ready to paint yet, but I did I bought the Kills because I'm going to have to prime it first. But I did start the sanding. I'm starting to get some of the stuff to school, which is what I needed to get out of my garage. I had dinner with my friend Dee Dee.
And how did that go?
Oh, I mean, it's awesome. It's always, I think you probably know me well enough to know that I am extremely social. And when I get my social, it's good.
Okay.
When I get my social, it's good.
So what are you building in as rewards for yourself?
I don't think I have anything regular. I try to go get my nails done. I don't have a regular set time for it. It's just whenever I make time for it. But I don't know.
You're gonna have to, all right, now it's time for us to start talking about you have to have a reward for yourself. So whether it's when you get 10 days that you hit every marker on your chart like you're supposed to, you get to go do this. But we have to start building in some rewards so that you have something. So we know that your kids are motivated by the computer. We have to find a motivator for you. So whether it's getting your nails done, whether it's you can go to this certain place and get, a pastry and a drink. I mean, it's whatever that little thing is, but we got to start coming up with something for you.
I do those things. I never see them as a reward. I see them as, okay, this is something I want to do. And so I'm going to go do it.
But there has to be some things in there that you don't allow yourself to do and that you can just say, you know what? I've earned this because I've done this. So I'm going to spend this little bit of money and do this. So I'm going to spend this time and do that.
Oh, what just went through my head? What just went through my head was I do those things because I tell myself I deserve them, not that I've earned them.
And this is where earning stuff is going to be, because if you feel like you earned it, there's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And we have to build some accomplishment into this so that you stop thinking so negatively about yourself and you actually pay attention to your accomplishments. Because let's look, this week, you took care of your kids. You got them to the orthopedic surgeon. You got them home. You made sure they took their medication. Nobody has died this week. The house hasn't burned down. The bills have been paid. So all that stuff that you don't see as being major are major things that you have accomplished this week. Your kids don't smell like a hobo's nutsack because you've made sure they're taking showers.
You crack me up every time.
That is an accomplishment. Your kids have had water to wash themselves, lights to be able to see stuff, and food to eat.
Mm-hmm.
That's an accomplishment. You do so many little things that you don't think about, but there's so many adults who can't or are not capable of doing it compared to what you've had to do. So there's a whole lot more too that you've done than that you have not done.
Well, and I think part of it is that I was always one of the mentalities that I have to fight is that you can always do more.
You can always do more, but sometimes you have to think about what you've done.
Well, and yes, and that's what I'm saying. That's the mindset that I'm trying to alter, trying to adjust, is that, you know, I can't always do everything I feel like I'm supposed to, but I'm doing the things that I need to.
I am guilty of it because I never got the second half of the speech. You always have to do better, but nobody told me what was good enough. So I've gone through that my whole life with the question of how much is enough? And I'm sitting there like, well, maybe this is enough. Maybe that's enough. And then ultimately I'm like, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. And then next thing you know, the goal line has moved over and over and over again. And what was a touchdown 6 months ago is now me just making it to my 20-yard line. So I still have 80 yards to go.
I mean, it sounds familiar.
So with me knowing that about myself, I have to have little things in there. That's why in football you see first downs.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, in a math sense, you have different points that you get to before you get all the way to the completion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like with you, when you do the formula with the steps, sometimes people can jump from point A to whatever the last point is, but most people need those steps in the middle to get them there.
Yeah, they do. Yep, I hear. And I'm only I switched over to my routine list because I'm adding something to it. Okay. Right.
But yeah, like I said, this is where we have to start believing in ourselves. I am good. I am worthy. I do a good job. I may not be the best at everything, but I am definitely not the worst.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who wish that they could have my life, even though I don't think it's perfect. Those are things you have to remember, because at the end of the day, when you're like, oh my God, I suck, there's somebody that you don't know that's paying attention to you like, man, I wish I could be her. So we have to make sure that we're working on looking at our negative behavior, and when our negative behavior is happening, because like right now, you realize when you don't take your meds, you get forgetful, and then when you get forgetful, you talk bad about yourself. So that's something that you can directly affect by making sure every morning you're checking your meds off. Because they help to keep you centered and clearly thinking. Because now we're finding out that the behavior that's being displayed is a direct consequence of you not doing something else. So it's the symptom and not the problem. So this is where we're going to slow it down. And every day we're going to be positive, because when you're having positive thoughts, you can't have negative thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're like, man, my kids did a really good job today. My kids did that, did this, did that. You don't then go, oh, Lincoln sucks at washing dishes, because you're talking about the positive.
No, this week's been hard with the kids.
Huh?
This week has been hard with the kids. There's been a whole lot of arguing and a whole lot of, back talk and a whole lot of frustration on me doing things out of frustration.
But that's the extinction burst happening.
Well, but it's also because I haven't been taking my meds.
And you broke routine.
Yep.
Prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance. Piss poor performance produces pain.
Yep.
So you have to plan for everything. You have to plan for failure. Because if you don't have a plan, when something happens, all of a sudden you're gonna freak out. We all do.
Mm-hmm.
So if I lived in Montana in the wilderness and I walked outside and there was a pack of wolves between me and my truck, if I just panicked and started running, I'm going to get ran down by wolves. If I walk my silly butt right back in the house and lock the door, I can then look out the window and see when the wolves have left because they're hungry. Smart thinking, go back in the house. Unclear thinking, run around like I'm a Muppet. Smart thinking, hey, they're afraid of fire. Let me get some fire over there by them. Those clear thinking things will make a difference. Not planning for it, and I muff it around. Not gonna probably be a good ending.
That Muppet, what you were doing with that reminds me so much of my daughter, because when she freaks out and she just drama queen sets in and literally I mean almost just like that.
Because nobody's taught her how to process it and plan. So if you plan for it going wrong, then all of a sudden when it goes wrong, it's not that big a deal. Because, oh, I knew this could happen, so I'm ready. There's a lot of things out there that if you plan for the failure, all of a sudden it's not that big a deal. That's why they got Plan B pills out there. Because people have planned for, man, I'm probably not going to use protection the way I'm supposed to. So I'm going to use this plan B. I'm not going to get gas when I'm supposed to, but that's why I keep this gallon of gas in a gas can on the back of my truck. I'm not going to take something out to cook for dinner. That's why I have these TV dinners, A, or B, I have this, $20 I have stashed in my wallet because I'm ordering pizza.
Oh my gosh, the kids having money is nice because the kids be like, here's $20. Will you please go and get me this, and this from Little Caesar? Because they don't have to listen to me say, no, I'm not going to pay for it. I'm going to hate when their money runs out.
Hey, but for right now, it gives you a reprieve. And so now it makes them appreciate it now, because now they're like, because once their money gets low, all of a sudden it's going to be, can I really afford that? Can I do that? Can I just get a $5 hot and ready and not actually get all the extra crap?
Oh, that's what they get anyways, the $5 hot and ready. Evan got $15 worth of pizza today. He got a pizza and crazy bread and like Italian bread, cheese or bread or something, but he got like $15 worth of stuff.
But pretty soon he's gonna buy a gallon of milk and like 8 boxes of mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Because he's gonna be back to, oh my God, my money's gonna run out.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, that's the planning for failure part. And that's what you're going to need to have in your back pocket so that you don't get the way you just got, where you're like, oh my God, I'm so this and I'm so that. No, you're not. We all make mistakes. That's why we put routines and procedures in place. So I'm going to get up at 5:30 and I'm going to go take my shower, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that. At 6 o'clock, I'm going to be walking down the hall, banging on people's doors. Because if they're not up by 6 o'clock, I'm banging on their door and telling them they need to get up because I'm not going to be late. 6:35, we're all headed to the car. By 6:50, I have dropped them off where I need to drop them off, and me and Aaliyah are headed to my job. So I can get there by 7:30, so I have that 30 minutes to make sure I get myself together and I'm not having to run into the classroom, like I'm a bat coming up out of hell.
Yeah, because that doesn't work.
And I have that 30 minutes to not be frazzled. And if I want to grab a cup of coffee and say something to one of my coworkers, I can do that. So this is why we need to build your routine, your home routine, so that your work routine is able to work as seamlessly as possible. And this is where you also start to add in, oh, I have to record this for the kids, so I'm going to build this into my routine. So that oh, it's Tuesday and it's 6:45. I need to look at my material because at 7:15, I'm going to start recording my lesson that I need to record.
I didn't remember telling you about that. I guess I did. I didn't remember telling you about that, but.
So yes, that's where you start building all that into your routine. So you're not waiting till Thursday or whatever and going, oh my God, I haven't done it yet. And you're freaking out. Or it may be that you and the other teacher is teaching the exact same thing as you. 1 week she's recording, 1 week you're recording. It just all depends.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a bad thing or if it's just what happened, but I didn't get an advanced class this year. And I thought their plan, I'm going to ask about it. Not that anything's going to change, but I got 4 geometry classes and 2 algebra 2 classes. And I mean, and a part of me is kind of glad, because having that advanced class almost was like a third prep, because I was doing things, there were, most of it was the same, but there was still some things that were different. But I've got 4 geometries. 2 of them, my 2 algebra 2s are collaborative. And as of right now, they don't have a collaborator for me. So that's going to be interesting.
So then this is where you know that you have to do your 2 recordings, because you do 1 recording for 4 classes, 1 recording for 2 classes. And you just kind of, now you get to build it in. You don't have to do a 3rd set of recordings.
And some of them I can reuse from last year too.
So this is where you get to once again build that schedule, and you get to start checking off that schedule and going, hey, I did this, hey, I did this, hey, I did this. I hit all my marks for the day.
I'm gonna have to get up at 5:30.
Huh?
I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to get up at 5:30.
Uh-huh.
Or even earlier.
Which also means you have to give yourself a bedtime. And like I said, you're going to start checking off your routine. So everything is going to be a routine. Everything's going to be like steps of a math problem, except it's steps of a life problem. So yes, you get up in the morning, you go do your shower, you do your hair, you put your contacts in, you get dressed for work. At some point, you're probably gonna have to bang on doors to make sure your kids are up. At 6:20, you're gonna have to say everybody needs to be downstairs in 5 minutes. And you're gonna build, and it sounds silly, but you're gonna start building that where all of that is in there. So that it becomes second nature, that you just do the same routine over and over again. Well, it gets so ridiculous that since you have to be up at 5:30, at 5:28, you will wake up before your alarm goes off.
Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah. I know I'll get back into it, but I'm just not. I've enjoyed my summer.
Most people do, but most of us need structure to be productive.
Yes. I'm one of them. I do. I know I do. I put you on this because I guess I'm gonna have to just say get up at 5:30.
And so whether it's a whiteboard or a big piece of poster board, you're gonna have to put up that chart on the back of your door. Since you keep your door closed, and you're gonna have to look at it and make sure you're checking off. And we're gonna look at how many tasks you have completed.
And typing things up. All right. I kind of just typed up I just kind of typed up my morning, get up, take shower, take meds, eat breakfast, yada, yada, yada. Be in the car by 6:40.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I gotta double check the schedule and make sure what time the bus has to come pick them up. But
So then what I'm going to need you to do is get a piece of paper or at least a poster board, something like that, where you put all your different steps that you're supposed to achieve and put little boxes next to them, you know, with a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday over it.
mhm,
So you can start checking them off,
okay.
because that's going to be our process. And we're going to start talking about daily. So we're going to do nightly check-ins for 15 or 20 minutes. So it'll be 15 minutes, even if it's 15, 20 minutes at night, there'll be daily check-ins to make sure that you have started doing what you're supposed to do. And because I am silly, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, I may even make farm noises at you, because that way it's not any foul language.
You can cluck like a chicken, and that will be foul language.
I will cluck, I will gobble, or I will quack. Or I might just say foul language, foul language, foul language, foul language.
Oh, you're funny.
But sometimes if that's what it takes, if I have to anchor foul language with you doing what you're supposed to do, then that's what I'll do. And then that way that becomes a trigger for you. So you go, oh, it's foul language. I need to be doing this.
Mhm.
Oops, he moved at me. I need to be doing this. And so it becomes, as silly as that is, what we connect to other things is different for each person.
Mhm.
Like I literally went over, I did a music thing with somebody besides you, and it literally took them back to a club 10 years prior. And they were like, oh my God, if I knew 10 years later the meaning of this song, how it would affect me like this, I'd be a totally different person, because it
Wow.
had already connected to something else, and it triggered a response in them because it took them back to that point.
Music is powerful.
Symbols in general are powerful if we pay attention to the connection. That chart is going to be a symbol in and of itself for you to do what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to start off by doing daily check-ins, 15, 20 minutes. And then at some point, I'm going to start to space them out a little bit more. But right now, this is going to be your initial reinforcement. And I'm going to be part of your routine. So at 9:45 your time or whatever, we're going to pick a time, and that's going to be my daily check-in. To make sure, what have you done today? What do you have to do tomorrow? How are you feeling about yourself? Tell me what you've done positive. And so it's going to turn into that type of situation to make sure that you've been doing your chart and what you've completed. And to make sure that you're not going to bed with negative thoughts.
I do that a lot.
We're going to clear your mind before you go to bed, because I hate to say it like this. Your 17-year-old is your 17-year-old, and he's going to be your 17-year-old until he's 18. He has to make choices for himself. Mommy bear cannot hold his paw and drag him along. He either wants to do right or he doesn't. And if he does not, he has to pay the consequences for his actions or inactions. And eventually your 14-year-old, 15-year-old will be there too. And eventually your 13-year-old will be there too. You can do what you can do, but they ultimately have to make the choice of what they're going to do or not going to do. So unless you're going to hose them off in the backyard, when they don't shower, they're going to stink. This is the part where you can't beat yourself up because you're doing what you need to do. They still have to make a choice on how they're going to behave. We all have at least that one person we grew up with that parents tried their damnedest to do right by their kids. And their kids still ended up being screw-ups and douchebags. There's that one guy or girl that you grew up with that if you go back to where you grew up with at, if they're not dead, they're still doing exactly what they were doing the last time you saw them. They're still sitting at that certain store begging for change. They're still out there doing meth and selling themselves. Because that's what they chose to do, and they chose not to do any better. Don't become a victim of giving up and saying you can't do better, because your life is your life and it's going to be whatever you make of it. So you're going to build positive routines that put you where you want to be at. And you're going to give your kids the tools to be successful. What they do with it will be their choice, but it will not be said that you did not give them the tools to be successful. And the first part of those tools is you taking care of you. Because you can't say, do as I say, not as I do. That's like the crab mom that tells the baby crab not to walk sideways, but she walks sideways.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go straight forward. You're going to do what you're supposed to do. You're going to get your routines right. And then you'll be able to tell your kids, look, yes, I may have had screwed up routines for a whole lot of years. I fixed it so you can fix it too. So tell me something about yourself that you're proud of.
From today or just in general?
In general.
I'm proud of the fact that I'm still keeping it together a year and a half plus after my husband died.
And how many other people would be alcoholics or drug addicts right now?
Some.
You know what? You know what I'm proud of? And it's even simpler than that. I'm proud of me because I love me some me. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the best looking. There's a whole lot of things I'm not the best. But the one thing I am the best at is at being myself, and I love me. I am perfectly imperfect. And at the end of the day, the only person I can be is me. Regardless of what I do with it, I still have to be me. So at the end of the day, regardless of how good you've done or how bad you think you've done, because you've done a lot more good than bad, you're still Lori, and you've still been a lot more successful than a lot of people. Because you've managed to keep all three of your kids out of jail and off the pole.
For one more day.
Hey, it's one day at a time.
Oh, I know. It's what I was being silly.
But no, but that's really how you have to look at it. Because if you start
Yeah.
looking super long term, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
So yeah, one more day. So this is when you're proud of yourself. You go, hey, I made it one more. Whoop, whoop. So start working on your chart, and I will be getting with you tomorrow. Like I said, since I'm going to be part of your routine to make sure that you've completed your chart and you're starting to check off.
I'm gonna go as soon as we get done. I'm gonna go get me some graph paper or something and start, making up my little grid.
All right. Or is there anything else that you need to say?
I can't know off the top of my head. No.
All right. Well, have a good night.
Me too.